Tell me, which one was better, Halo or SingStar? Doom or Nintendo's Chihuahua Edition? Well, I can't decide. I love all of them. Anyways, onto something completely different and unrelated. Here's how I turned my girlfriend into a sleep-deprived gamer just like me. This is girlfriend. Let's call her something random, like she's real, I'm not lying. Before she's real, I'm not lying and I met, she worked part-time as a model and part-time as a professional music producer writing big hits. Bright future. Look at her smile. This is her 10 hours ago.
I'm going to bed now.
One more game.
No, my body hurts. It's 5 in the morning.
She's real, I'm not lying's resume was short. A hotel, some random horse game, and being in the same room while her brothers played Battlefield. That was my in. You know how the younger siblings always get the bad controller? Well, she was the third child. Last in, first out. And so I did what any boyfriend would do. With a Joy-Con in one hand and duct tape in the other, I patched that broken heart, sprinkled some Cuphead, a pinch of blazing Beaks. I turned her heart into the Mona Lisa of gaming. My girlfriend is very competitive. I know that because she sometimes claims that she's winning, when in reality I'm the one crushing it every single minute of the day. Never lost one. Loser, you're a loser person, suck it, I'm best. With her being this way, we simply had to play games where both of us were on the same team. The first game I introduced her to was Overcooked. A huge spaghetti is attacking the city. You're trying to help, but a time-traveling onion stops you. Children, you're not good enough. The onion swoops you 20 years back in time. From there you have to cooperate and beat all the levels in order to prove your worth and finally out-spaghetti the spaghetti. The controls are very basic. Run, dash, slice, grab. Every now and then you're introduced to new ingredients and dishes, which adds some depth to the gameplay, but the real challenge lies in the level design. The developers of the game, Ghost Town Games, carefully studied the best architects throughout history, looking at pieces such as the Colosseum, the pyramids, the castle in Super Mario 64, and so on. They then took this acquired knowledge and threw it in the trash. Instead of logic, they chose to reverse feng shui every single level of the game, turning it into a perfect, frustrating nightmare. You wanna make burgers in an earthquake?
No!
How about fish and chips on an ice block outside of Svalbard?
Please, no!
But what about cooking food on a ship?
Well, it doesn't sound too bad on a ship.
Sorry, I meant on the deck of a ship.
No!
She's real, I'm not lying, and it's too many syllables. Okay, her name is Helena. Helena and I raced through the game in no time. It was a really good game to start with, since the controls weren't complex at all, and we had to communicate a lot in order to come up with the different strategies for challenging levels. At one point, we were stuck at an ice level, gliding to our demise for 5 hours straight. I laughed and pointed, she didn't like it at all. Which says a lot about the game being able to grab a new player's focus for that long while being bullied by their significant other. Beating Overcooked, we both felt a bit empty inside. That's when, a couple of days later, I stumbled upon the best game ever made, Blazing Beaks. Sometimes indie developers go completely nuts for no reason at all and lower the prices close to nothing. Most of the time when I see this, I get suspicious. It's like a stranger's give me free ice cream and I'm just like, you peed on this. But the design of the game reminded me of the Minish Cap, so I just thought, screw it, I don't mind the pee, and bought the game for 10 crowns. I asked Helena if she wanted to try it out, and she said, okay, but I need to go to bed in an hour. Neither of us went to sleep that night. Probably says more about us than Blazing Beaks, but still, it was incredible. The game is quite simple. You're a bird of your choice pew-pewing everything that moves in order to get deeper and deeper into a randomly generated dungeon system. In the end of every area, there's a boss that you have to defeat in order to reach the portal to the next biome. If you die, you have to start the whole game over. It's a lot like the zombie mode from Call of Duty. The point is just to survive for as long as possible. Defeating enemies in the game sometimes makes them drop artifacts, which gives you different debuffs. At first we had no idea these items were bad, so every time we saw one shine on the map, we went, suddenly I couldn't pick up hearts. Helena became super slow. A ghost started chasing us. One of us instantly died. It was so confusing but hilarious at the same time. Later, we realized that you could trade these artifacts for good ones, talking to Mr. Crow in the shop area, where you also could buy new guns. This gave us, Helena, the idea of having one of us, me, being the carrier of the artifacts. I was sweating, running around in slow motion, missing every shot with 1 HP left, while Helena 360 no-scoped every single enemy. A truly epic adventure. But after enjoying this game for a long time, we were ready for a challenge, and I really wanted to try out a game called Cuphead. With 3 Guinness World Records, it's hard to deny this indie game its iconic status. It looks great, it feels great, it sounds awesome. The game is what's called run and gun shoot 'em ups, with almost every level being a boss battle. I knew it was going to be one of the hardest games any of us had played, but of course, I didn't tell Helena any of that. I just said, look, a Disney game. You like Disney, right? The gameplay is beautifully hard, and everything about moving your character feels perfect. You can really notice how the creators tweaked every aspect of the controls only to make the character behave exactly as you wanted to. Even though we lost so many times, we didn't blame the game once. We blamed each other. Unlike the other 2 games we played, Cuphead forced us to take more Pauses. After spending a long time learning the pattern of a boss, we were both mentally exhausted from defeating it. This, paired with a lot of other things going on in our lives, stopped us from actually finishing the game, ending right before the last boss. Still, I'm very impressed by Helena doing so well playing this kind of game for the first time. And now that there's a DLC, we have even more reason to get back to it. But right now it's impossible to reach my girlfriend since she pretty much left me for this bad boy. I guess it's my own fault for leading her into these games. Using the logic of this Reddit post that I found, she would have spent over 900 hours only with 6. And there's probably others that I'm not even aware of. Anyways, if you want to know the story about how the game Metroid came to be, check this video out. Please subscribe, okay, bye.